Boom.
Welcome to another edition of Discover New Music. Joining me today, a fella that really needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's fun to say. Joining me is Chad from Nickelback. Chad, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for taking the time today.
Back at you, man. Well, before we get started and we talk about the new album, Get Rollin', out November 18th, I got to share something real quick, and I'll make this fast because it's not every day you get to talk to the lead singer of a band that you remember exactly where you were the first time you heard them. So, circa
Wow.
2001, sophomore in high school, frosted tips, looking cool, on the bus heading to a wrestling tournament. My buddy Ryan is in the seat behind me, listening to his CD player, anti-skip on, I'm sure.
Anti-skip's got to be on if you're on the bus, dude.
Well, he's also writing down lyrics while he's listening. And of course, I'm telling him, I'm like, hey, what are you listening to? He's like, you got to hear this, man. This is awesome. Put on the headphones. That was the very first time I heard How You Remind Me. Bought Silver Side Up that weekend. Worst part about that story, my frosted tips. Everything else I absolutely love about it. First time I got to hear you guys. So.
Yeah, did you win your wrestling match?
Probably not. I was more concerned about the cheerleaders on the other team than I was about win. So more than likely I didn't. I didn't really train hard enough for it. So
it's true. It's true. It's like, you see that? I let him pin me.
yeah. I go down easy, ladies. I'm a pushover.
I'm sensitive.
Anyway, I bring up that little walk down memory lane because Nickelback is now at this stage where it's generational fans. Like, you have parents listening with their kids. And I'm sure you see that it shows as an artist, other than maybe making you feel a little older. What's that like now, seeing generations of Nickelback fans?
It's wild. It started probably 2 European tours ago. Actually, we started noticing. We kept talking about it. We'd get backstage, and it's like, did you see the age of the first 10 rows? They were like 15, and I'd even bring it up, during the show. I'm like, all your parents are back there, right? It's wild. But when we've been touring for over 20 years, so it starts to make sense after a while. It's like, mom and dad played it in the car. Mom and dad played it in the house. Mom and dad, got to thank you for that one.
That's right.
Yeah, it's wild to have these kids growing up on it. So, and there's a point, there's an actual point where, so Ryan, our guitar player, Ryan Peake, his son, how old is he now? Well, he's 2 years older than the daughter. And so he got picked on because his dad's the guitar player for Nickelback. 2 years later, every party that she goes to, his younger sister, all they do is play Nickelback.
Oh, really?
So it's like, there is a point.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God, that's fun. Well, it's been so many great years of Nickelback, and we continue this journey on now with Get Rollin', the 10th studio album, double digits. Is the pressure on the band at that point? You guys have a laundry list of accolades, so you don't really have anything to prove. So maybe going into the studio is a little bit, let's just have some fun. Talk about that now being 10 albums in.
That's very insightful. And that is truly what we do now. Like, we still want to be creative. We want to get in here, but we're not going to do the pace that we were doing, around, like, because we came off the road to make Silver Side Up there. Like, you have 5 weeks. And like, the second that thing is mixed, you guys are back on the road and the dates are booked. And it was crazy. I mean, it would just make a record, go on tour, make a record, go on tour. And this cycle just never stopped until, somebody hit the giant pause button on the entire world. And then we just kind of looked at each other and said, should we get in the studio, get a little creative, turn a negative into a positive? And that's what we did. But the work pace was lax, to put it lightly. We would record a guitar solo, get in the pool, come in, work on a chorus a little bit, and go for dinner. It just wasn't this huge, like, okay, we gotta keep moving, we gotta hustle, we've got a deadline to hit. And it was really nice. It was just so, because nobody knew when the world was going to open back up. We didn't know when we'd be going back on tour. We had no idea. Nobody did. And so it was just like, we kind of looked at each other after about 7 songs and said, I think we're making a record here. And you know, and then then it really turned into a record, and we started making these lyric videos, and we were actually looking for new management at the time. We were full free agents, no managers, no record company, just just the ship is just adrift
out in the ether there, Nickelback.
We're just floating aimlessly. Yeah, but you know, then we kind of got our ducks in a row and got the record done, and here we are. And now I'm talking about it. 8 hours a day, all over the world, just globally, just here. Yep, new record.
Well, we are happy that through the pool breaks and dinner, we got a new record here from Nickelback. That is very exciting. Our 10th one again, which is such a feat, and we're so excited to hear the rest of it. We've gotten a taste with San Quentin, and I'm gonna put a few things out there, and I want to see if you can fill in the blanks, okay, sure, about this first single. So Guy Fieri, Birthday Party, Prison Warden, go.
You're not leaving me many details here. Yeah, Guy was having a birthday party. I think it was his 50th. It was a big one, and he had this massive venue booked, and I just, you know, ran into this guy, and you know, he said, "Hey, you're Chad from Nickelback." I said, "Hey, nice to meet you. What do you do for a living?" He's like, "I'm actually the warden for San Quentin," and I just didn't believe him, because he was just way too young.
Yeah,
there's no way. I was just expecting something way more stern and stoic and a little crusty, and
like a scar, you know, on his face.
Yeah,
from the '86 prison break.
There's some, yeah, I've just been shanked. Yeah, something. And then, you know, everyone around me was like, well, around him, I should say, was like, "That is actually the warden for San Quentin." I'm like, "Oh, you're actually the one?" He's like, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am." I'm like, wow, it's great to meet you. You run a legendary and notorious prison that stories from, I mean, Metallica did Saint Anger there, the video for it. Johnny Cash played there. I mean, there's this prison has history. And immediately I just thought, I got to stick that. I just the title, just San Quentin. I'm going to stick that in my phone, and I'm circling back on this thing the next time we've got a really heavy riff going around. And sure enough, I just screamed into the microphone at one point, "Can somebody please keep me the hell out of San Quentin?" And at that point in time, it was kind of like, all right, now I know where we're going with this thing. We got a direction here, and away we went.
And you mentioned the heavy riff there. And if people, unless you've been living under a rock, you've heard San Quentin, and you guys have had heavy tracks before. I mean, you look back, you know, like Animal, for example, like you have some heavy riffs, but San Quentin has some balls to it, you know, some real, you guys really dropped that down. I mean, even I think even your stance in the music video is a little bit different. I mean, you guys really gave it to us on San Quentin.
Yeah, that's definitely emulating some Hetfield there for sure. You know, it's with every song, you're not sure where the influence might be coming from, you know, with Burn It to the Ground or whatever it could be, or Photograph, you know, you have no idea. But when I got to the chorus of San Quentin, I was definitely emulating a little James there for sure. You could tell with I might even do it at the end of there could even be like a little bit of that in there, now that I'm thinking about it. But yeah, you know, and we love doing that too. We every time we put out a new record, it makes us happy to kind of remind everybody, like, hey, we're still a rock band, so we're going to kick the door in, and here we go.
Even almost 25 odd years later, or 30 years later, is still bringing it to us, and that's just amazing. And I'm so excited to hear the rest of the record. And I know we've talked about San Quentin now at length. Do you maybe have a track, or maybe it is San Quentin, that really sticks out to you on the record, maybe a favorite of yours?
There's a few. There's also one which was our next single, called Those Days. And that's just a total trip down memory lane. Like if you grew up in the 80s or even close to it, you're going to get, because there's so many cultural references in that one. I'm talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm talking about like, hearing Purple Rain at your first slow dance, and standing in line at Guns N' Roses, waiting all night long to get tickets and trying to get front row. All of those things that just take you like, and just it's like simple stuff like, remember when the street lights came on and you had to be home? It's just tons of that over and over. And it just takes you right into that era. So that one's a favorite too. And there's another really the great rock and just really groove heavy riff on this one it's called Skinny Little Missy. And it gets the involuntary head bob going for sure. Yeah,
passes the head bob test. Well, again, we are going to get the full on experience on November 18th when Get Rollin' drops. To the album cover, I love it. It's got just like a bitchin' van on there. It kind of reminds me of that old like 70s Rat Fink style drawings. Is that the van you guys are taking out for the tour? Are you getting piled into there and going out in that one, or
close? I can't completely divulge. We're probably not gonna go from show to show in it, but it's starting to leak. So I'll leave you with that.
Okay.
But you'll probably see. I can't.
I don't want you to get in trouble with any of that higher up.
Brad's gonna come over my shoulder here and be like, "I said you're not allowed to talk about
interview's
that.
Over. We're out of here." He brought up the van. We're done. We're leaving.
Exactly. But we've got a song that also goes to another era, and it's 70s. It's almost like 70s country rock, and it's like you're driving across America in a van, picking up hitchhikers, going from show to show, catching all these different acts. And it's very Cheech and Chong, if you will. Like every time you open up the side doors, it's just a big, huge puff of smoke that comes out. Like, and we wanted to lean into that. And I was like, and so the Rat Fink thing did come up, and I said, can we make the ass end of the van? Let's go tandem axle. So otherwise, it's just going to be kind of a boring van. Let's make it a little bit special. Let's make it different. So that's happening. And we're starting the video for it right now. I can't wait to see how that goes, because from what I understand, it's cartoon, and we're starting to see some things come in, and hopefully there's going to be some characters in there that we all recognize. So that's what we leaned right into that. And then we're like, we can make this vintage 70s t-shirts, and we'll go full tilt on this thing.
I love it. Well, I'm so excited, and I don't want to get you in trouble, so we'll just leave it at that. You got our breaths baited, so we're good. Well, that's awesome, man. Again, everyone, we just cannot wait. Get Rollin' November 18th, brand new Nickelback. I just have one more chunk of questions. First thing I do want to ask, Village Idiot,
yes,
your first band. What was your favorite band to cover when you were in Village Idiot all those years ago doing covers?
There was two of them. Were you a Cult fan back in the day?
Little bit before my time, but still something as I got more into the rock world and exploring. Definitely for sure.
Yeah, we played a lot of Cult. But then we also in that band, growing up in Canada at that time, I think we could play 14 Tragically Hip songs, which is a very Canadian. That's Canadiana.
Yes.
And not a lot of your listeners will know about the Tragically Hip. Some of them might, but they are a national treasure. And so, I mean, you start a hip song anywhere in Canada, and the dance floor is going to be full.
Look at that. There you go. All right. Yeah. All right. He's a Tragically Hip. I don't know if we're still spinning them, but maybe we'll do a deep cut one of these days. So.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, I was looking at that and I said, great band name, and awesome doing covers back in the day, early Canada, early days of Nickelback there before they became Nickelback. Okay, I usually do a bit called Rapid Fire, but I recently did something with Sam from the band Architects. He's from Sussex, so I dug deep and found this Sussex slang. So instead, it went terrible, by the way. All the words I said, he didn't know. It was awful. We had a lot of fun either way. So I'm going to try it with you, and maybe it'll go better. So we're going to do Canadian slang with Chad of Nickelback. Okay, so some regional ones first from the Alberta area. Cowtown.
Calgary.
Oh, all right, we're off to a great start, Chad. This is good. This makes me very happy. Takatish. Or maybe it's Take-a-tish.
Oh, you might have lost me on number 2 already.
Oh man, I got too cocky on the first one.
Uh-oh. What else we got?
So, okay, well, that one is a slang for take it easy, apparently. So, Takatish. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Maybe you've never heard that.
Oh, take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy. Maybe that's what it is.
Take it easy. Yeah, that's more of like a thing that just, see, that's more of an Italian thing. You're like, hey, take it easy. Yeah, so okay, a little explanation.
You know, the famous Canadian Italians. We all know them, of course.
You need a little explanation when you're going to go with the take it easy.
All right, how about this one? Jam Buster.
Jam Buster?
No, God. All right,
I thought you were going to go easy on me. Toboggan.
Toboggan.
You're like, what's a toque? You know, I thought you were going to say, what does giver mean?
Yeah. See, now toque, when I saw that, I was like, no one's going to know. He's not going to know toque. And then you lay him. Okay, Jam Buster, jelly-filled donut. Okay.
Okay, Jam Buster. All right.
Yeah, Jam Buster. Okay, here's some easier ones. These are more general. Okay, Looney and Toonie.
So it's $1 and $2 coin. So on our dollar coin, we have the Canadian loon, the bird, and we nicknamed it the Looney. Then the $2 coin comes out, and we just affectionately name it the Toonie. This is so funny you're bringing this up. We literally talking about this like 3 days ago, and it's like, we wonder why Americans make fun of us. And they're like, our dollar coin and our $2 coin is called a Looney and a Toonie. Yeah. Just say it to yourself as a Canadian and just kind of step outside and just recognize how dumb that sounds.
When you go to Timmy's and you got a Looney and a Toonie in your pocket.
You go to Timmy's. Wait, from what I understand, Tim's is coming to America.
It's trickled down already. We've really accepted, because then you can get your double at Timmy's right there.
The double.
I did my research. All right, we got just a couple more. All right, we'll make it. Okay, so gong show.
Oh, I'll just say, if someone's really drunk and they're just falling all over the place, it's like, what a gong show.
Perfect.
Is that that's not an American thing at all?
No, but I'm going to adopt it because, or like, oh man, this party is gong show. That guy is gone. I mean, it's just fun. That is right up there with Looney and Toonie.
Because back in the day, it was called the Gong Show, and this was in the 70s or 80s, whatever it was. If you did, I didn't realize it. I don't even think it's Canadian. I think it's American. If you went up to do some sort of silly act and whatever, it was like the early version of America's Got Talent, and there was this big dumb gong, and one of the celebrity judges was just walk up and it's gong, and then off you go. That was the Gong Show. That's it.
All right, we're doing better on the general ones. Okay, let's do freezy.
A freezy is like if you take like fruit juice and you put it in a long plastic tube and you freeze it. What do you guys call those?
A freezy pop, a freezer pop, icicle, icy. I mean, a bunch of different ones, but you're right on there. Yeah, it's like it's a popsicle. You guys just have fun ways of saying stuff. Last one. 2-4.
A 2-4 is 24 beers. See, it's so strange. You guys call 26 ounces of alcohol a 750 mil. Why you call it a 750 mil? You're using metric. To describe something in a country that uses imperial. We in Canada, we call it a 2.6. And we're using imperial to describe something in metric, which is just absolutely bizarre. So we call it 2.6. Sometimes you call it a Twix.
A Twix. I like that. A Twix. Very nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you go down to the beer store, you got to get a 2-4 before the party. That's basically.
You got to get a 2-4 and a 2.6.
That's right. You see, when it comes to metrics, we us in the United States, we just want to piss off the rest of the world, so we're just going to mess with it however we can. That's just the best way we can do it, right there.
You in the UK still rocking miles.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. You know, they do stuff right every once in a while, but
yeah.
all right.
It's so for me, I can't do so. It's like we're so bastardized with what we do use because I just refuse to say meters. I'm not going to go, oh, it's about 40 meters. It's like, no.
That's right up there with loony and toony. All right.
That's right. Yeah. It's like, no, it's 120 feet. It's 120 feet, you know? Yeah, it is very strange how things have trickled both ways across the border in that way. And you just kind of grab onto whatever and just put it into your vernacular.
Well, thank you for explaining a little bit more of the beautiful Canadian language. And more importantly, thank you for taking the time. The new album, Get Rolling, out November 18th. Chad, thank you so much, man.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for a great interview.
Well, hey, man, pleasure's all mine. I mean, it's a hell of a guy, and this was a lot of fun, man. So thank you. Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, you be safe.